Hey there, folks, settle in, because I've got a story that'll hit you right in the gut. It's raw, it's real, and it's one of those nights you don't forget, the kind that starts quiet but ends with the whole damn world paying attention. Picture this, a small-town diner in Westfield, Ohio, just after 9 p.m., the kind of place where the coffee's always brewing and the neon sign buzzes like it's on its last legs. That's where Sarah Miller, a 48-year-old woman with a smile that hides a lifetime of battles, rolls up in her wheelchair, looking for her usual, a slice of pecan pie, a black coffee, 10 minutes of peace. But peace, well, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Sometimes it's just a setup for trouble to come knocking. Sarah's no stranger to struggle. 10 years ago, a drunk driver smashed into her car, left her spine broken, her nursing career in ashes. She used to stitch people back together in the ER. Now she fights just to get through a grocery store aisle without someone staring or whispering. Every day's a war. For respect, for space, for the right to just be. That night, she's at the diner, her call center shift done, her hands steady on the wheels of her chair, her purse tucked tight against her side. She's thinking about the pie, maybe the way the waitress, Jenny, always sneaks her an extra scoop of whipped cream. But across the street, 3 guys are watching her, their eyes sharp, hungry, like wolves spotting a stray. They're local punks, Ricky, Joey, and Cal, the kind of guys who think tattoos and loud mouths make them kings of this nowhere town. They're leaning on a beat-up Chevy, passing a cigarette, their laughs cutting through the night like broken glass. Sarah feels it before she sees it, that prickle on her neck, the one that says trouble's coming. She grips her purse tighter, whispers to herself, "Just keep moving, Sarah, get to the door." But these guys, they're not here for small talk. They saunter across the street, boots scuffing the asphalt, and Ricky, the loudest, tosses his cigarette to the curb, grinning like he's auditioning for a villain role. "Well, damn, look at this," he drawls, voice dripping with mockery. "Rolling solo tonight, sweetheart?" Joey, shorter, wiry, crouches to her level, his breath sour with cheap beer. "Need a push? Or you just gonna sit there looking pitiful?" Their laughter stabs the air, and Sarah's chest tightens. She's been here before, felt eyes like knives. But these aren't curious, they're cruel. She tries to roll past, her hands quick on the wheels, but Cal steps in front of her, arms spread wide like he owns the sidewalk. "Where you off to in such a hurry, princess?" he sneers, and when Joey reaches for her purse, Sarah yanks it back, her heart hammering. "Leave me alone," she says, but her voice shakes, betraying the fear she's trying to bury. Inside the diner, a few folks glance out the window, a trucker, a couple of teens, Jenny behind the counter, but nobody moves. Their eyes are safe behind glass, watching like it's a show they don't have to star in. Sarah's alone, her wheels scraping the concrete as she tries to back away. Joey kicks her tire, just enough to lock her in place, and says, "What's in the bag, huh? Got anything worth sharing?" Sarah's voice is sharp now. "Nothing you'd want," but Cal grabs the handles of her chair, yanks her backward, and her stomach lurches. Control, gone, just like that. The diner door cracks open, Jenny peeks out, her apron twisted in her hands, but she ducks back inside, the door clicking shut. Sarah's breath catches, the world shrinking to these 3 shadows circling her like vultures. They're laughing now, pushing her toward the alley behind the diner, her voice breaking as she yells, "Stop, please." It echoes, unanswered, or so she thinks. Then it comes, faint at first, like a storm rolling in from the edge of town. A rumble, deep, mechanical, shaking the pavement under her wheels. The laughter stops, replaced by the growl of engines, 8 of them, roaring closer, headlights slicing through the dark. Sarah freezes, her fear tangling with something new, something like hope. The punks turn, their smirks fading as 8 motorcycles roll into view, chrome glinting under the streetlights. The jackets say Iron Reapers, a name that makes even tough guys flinch. The bikes line up, a wall of steel and leather, engines idling like they're waiting for a reason to pounce. The leader, a guy named Marcus, pulls off his helmet, revealing a face carved with scars and eyes that don't waver. He doesn't look at the punks first. He looks at Sarah, gives her a nod, small but heavy, like a promise. Then his gaze shifts to Ricky, Joey, and Cal, and the air turns sharp, like a blade's been drawn. One of the bikers, a big guy with a beard like a Viking, speaks, his voice low, dangerous. Let go of the chair. Ricky, still gripping the handles, tries to laugh it off, but it's weak, nervous. We're just messing around, man, no big deal. Marcus steps forward, boots heavy, his jacket creaking. His voice doesn't rise, it drops, like thunder before a strike. Last chance. Hands off. Ricky's eyes flicker with fear, and he lets go, shoving the chair forward. Another biker, a wiry guy named Tuck, catches it gently, steadying Sarah before she tips. Marcus kneels, meets her eyes. You okay, ma'am? Sarah nods, her voice caught in her throat, and Marcus stands, turning back to the punks. Now, he says, his tone cutting like steel, you're gonna learn what respect looks like. The Reaper's engines rev, a chorus that shakes the street, and Sarah feels it in her bones. The night's flipped, and she's not the prey anymore. Marcus points at the punks. You thought it was funny, pushing her around, making her feel small. Now you're gonna do it right. You're pushing her home, and you're gonna treat her like she's the damn queen of this town. The punks blink, mouths open, but Tuck revs his bike, loud, sharp, final. Ricky steps behind the chair, hands shaking as he grips the handles. Sarah stiffens, unsure, but Marcus kneels again. You're in charge here, ma'am. If you don't want this, say so, we'll handle it another way. Sarah swallows, feels something spark inside her. Power, real power, for the first time in years. Let them push, she whispers, and Marcus nods, standing tall. You heard her. Start walking. And so it begins, this strange, surreal parade through Westfield. Sarah in her chair, Ricky pushing, Joey and Cal trailing like scolded kids, and 8 roaring motorcycles crawling behind, headlights casting long shadows. People on the sidewalk stop, jaws dropping, phones out, filming. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Is that the Reapers? What the hell's going on? Sarah's cheeks burn, not from shame, but from being seen. For years, she's been invisible, just a woman in a chair, pitted or ignored. Now she's the center of something fierce, something undeniable. Marcus walks beside her, his eyes locked on the punks. Don't look at me, he snaps. Look at her. She's not your joke. She's a person. His words hit harder than fists, and Sarah feels her hands tighten on the armrests, her heart pounding with something new, pride. They hit Main Street, and a car slows, the driver honking, confused. The Reapers don't flinch, filling the crosswalk like a damn army, their bikes gleaming under the streetlights. Sarah glances at Ricky, his jaw tight, sweat dripping. She speaks, soft but firm. You got a mom, Ricky? He flinches, mutters, yeah. Would you want her treated like you treated me? Silence. His head shakes, just a little, shame creeping into his eyes. Behind them, Tuck grumbles. That's the lesson, kid. Respect. You don't give it, you lose it when it matters. Sarah's eyes sting, not with fear now, but with the realization that her pain's forcing these guys to face themselves, something no fight could do. They reach an alley, narrow, dark, littered with trash. Sarah usually avoids it. The uneven ground's a nightmare for her wheels. The punks hesitate, Joey muttering, we don't need to go this way. Marcus steps forward, his shadow swallowing them. She picks the path, not you. Sarah surprises herself, her voice steady. We're taking it. The punks groan, but they push her into the alley, the Reaper's headlights painting the walls with light. Her chair rattles over cracks, but Sarah holds her head high, feeling unbreakable. Halfway through, Joey gets sloppy, shoves too hard, jolting her forward. She gasps, clutching her purse, and Marcus's voice cuts through the dark like a whip. Stop. The bikes go silent, the quiet louder than thunder. Marcus strides forward, leans close to Joey. You don't manhandle her. You push with care, or you won't be pushing anything again. Joey nods, hands trembling, and Sarah exhales, glancing at Marcus. Thank you, she whispers. He nods, barely, his eyes never leaving the punks. At the alley's end, kids on bikes gawk, whispering, That's the Reapers, man. Sarah's tears fall now, not from pain, but from being seen, not as a victim, but as someone who matters. She speaks, her voice clear. Apologize. The punks freeze. Marcus folds his arms, waiting. Ricky mumbles, sorry, but Sarah shakes her head. Louder. The bikes rev, a warning, and all three punks say it together, their voices echoing. "We're sorry." Sarah closes her eyes, letting the words sink in. They don't erase the fear, but they give her back something she'd lost, her dignity. They reach her apartment, a faded brick building with a ramp that's seen better days. Marcus gestures. "Take her up." The punks guide her carefully, their swagger gone, heads down. At the door, Sarah turns her chair, faces them. "Look at me," she says, and they do, reluctantly. "You thought I was weak, thought you could break me. But tonight, you carried me. Don't forget it." Her voice shakes, but it's not fear, it's strength spilling over. Marcus's crew stands behind her, one biker, an older guy named Hank, touching his chest, a quiet salute. The crowd's grown now, phones still filming, and applause starts, soft at first, then loud, filling the street. Sarah smiles, really smiles, for the first time in years, her wheelchair no longer a cage, but a throne. Marcus nods to her. "You didn't need saving tonight, ma'am. You just needed to be seen." The Reaper's engines roar to life, shaking the block, and they roll out, vanishing into the night like ghosts. Sarah lingers in her doorway, listening to the fading thunder, her heart full. Inside, she wheels to her living room, past old photos of her nursing days, and realizes she's not alone anymore. The world saw her fight, and it stopped to watch. By morning, the videos everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Woman in wheelchair escorted by Iron Reapers, trends, comments flooding in. One says, "My sister's in a chair, and this made her cry. Thank you." Sarah's co-workers hug her, call her a hero, but she shakes her head. "Not a hero," she says, "just a reminder that dignity's worth fighting for." Days later, a package arrives, a patch, simple, stitched with "Strength is respect." No note, just the message. Sarah pins it to her purse, touches it every time she rolls out, a reminder of the night cruelty lost and honor won. But here's the thing, and I want you to chew on this. Those punks, they weren't just random bullies. Word around town is they were tied to a local crew pushing for control of Westfield streets, shaking down small businesses, including the diner. Sarah wasn't just a target. She was a message, a way to flex power. The Reapers stepping in? That wasn't just kindness. It was a line in the sand, a warning to anyone thinking they could run this town through fear. So, what do you think? Was this just about one woman's dignity, or was it a bigger fight, a clash of who gets to call the shots? And what about the bystanders, the ones who watched but didn't move? Are they cowards, or just folks caught in a moment too big for them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Let's keep these stories alive, because respect, it's free, but it changes everything.